What's up, YouTube? This is John, and I'm here with the Super Deformed Gamescast, Episode 2. As always, alongside me are Brandon, Brian, and Steve. How's it going, guys?
Hey, man.
Doing good.
All right, I'm glad to see everybody here. It's been a very interesting week, and I kind of want to... Actually, you know what? I want to touch on something that Steve mentioned to me earlier, and I thought it was a really good idea. Steve says, we've got this podcast, and it's called Super Deformed, and nobody really knows why. Like, anybody who might be listening may not know why we're called Super Deformed. And I wanted to point out that it's not a reference to Brian's dick at all. It's not a reference to the nipples that Steve has growing out of his forehead. It's not a reference to the fact that I'm a midget, which I'm not.
Though all those things are completely true.
They are completely true, except for me being a midget.
Brian got the cool one.
Brian. I don't know why I targeted Brian with the tiny dick joke, but I did. So, I don't know, Brian. You just seem like a tiny dick kind of guy. What can I say?
It just reeks of projection. That's all I'm going to say.
It does. It does. That's why I've got such a big movie screen in my basement. I'm trying to compensate for my tiny penis.
First step, submitting.
It casts a weird shadow.
But no. So the name Super Deformed kind of references the old school JRPG 16-bit and PlayStation 1 era sprites of the all those role-playing games like Final Fantasy and Wild Arms and Grandia and Chrono Trigger, Earthbound for me, and we all kind of grew up playing those. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of a cool name and it stuck. And so yeah, no, I thought Steven thought it was an important thing to point out, and I agreed with him. So
I grew up with stuff like Mega Man, so Super Deformed is my childhood.
It's back in like 8-bit and 16-bit characters, like nobody had a mouth, nobody had a nose. Like Final Fantasy VI is literally like a face with eyes.
If you think about it, it was actually kind of
in Zelda 2 was something else.
Yeah, I mean, Link. I mean, if you really think about it, Link. He looked like he actually had a physical deformity. He had little tiny, looked like cancerous nubs for arms.
I always thought his sword was his arm, and then his shield was the sword.
You know what I always thought? I always thought the what are they called? Those fucking octopuses, octopi, whatever the plural is. I thought they were spiders. That
In what?
Me.
Oh, the yeah, I know what you're talking about. Forest.
That's what they're called.
Yeah.
I thought those things were spiders. I also always thought Kefka was wearing a helmet when you were fighting him. I don't know why, but it literally was not until years later when I looked at his battle sprite and I was like, oh shit, okay, there's his clown face. I thought he was wearing a fucking hard hat. No bullshit.
He's putting in that work.
And when I was a teenager, I was like, man, Kefka's a great villain, but why is he wearing a fucking hard hat like those little dudes in Mega Man? I don't get it. I don't understand. But so I kind of wanted to kick things off talking about the first thing, the MPD results came out on Thursday. How this shit is good for August. And PlayStation 4 once again was in the number one spot, sold the most consoles in the United States, but the Xbox One was very close behind. I can't remember exactly what the difference was, Brendan, but looking at sales, I think it was like 5,000, 7,000. I mean, it was razor thin.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, looking at it, I mean, the Xbox One has seen a really, really wonderful resurgence this year. I mean, it hasn't been able to win many NPDs, but I mean, just for an example, compared to last year, year to date, the Xbox One increased its August sales by 26%. I think the number was. And obviously since the PlayStation 4 won, then it increased year to date as well. I don't know what it sold last year, so obviously the increase wasn't as big as the Xbox One's, but I mean that's just good for gaming in general. And I find it interesting the fanboy war or the fanboy wars that you see all over Twitter. Whichever regardless of which console wins or loses, there's always some kind of fanboy bullshit going on, and I enjoy seeing both consoles thrive because it's good for gaming. And I was especially pleased to see Until Dawn chart.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it was only a couple days on the list, right?
That's what impressed me was the fact that I think it released on the 24th. Brandon, it was like a week. I know it was the week before Metal Gear.
Yeah, it was a week before Metal Gear.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, it was like 6 or 7 days. 6 or 7 days. I think it sold like 90 to 95K. I can't remember, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you figure that's only 6 days of sales. I mean, for a niche title like that, and it is a niche title.
That's an exclusive, yeah.
It's an exclusive. It's a niche title, but I was
And
really
it's something you can watch on YouTube.
exactly, yeah, and which is, I mean, and that's I think that partly is what contributed to it charting, was it being kind of adopted by the YouTube gamers. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely.
I think people
PewDiePie get millions of views in a couple of days on those videos. Yeah.
Exactly, and so that really did me good to see. And I can't remember what the number one. I think it was Madden. I think Madden was number one in software sales.
That would make sense, particularly with football season coming around again.
Yeah. That's kind of that's kind of expected.
There's not going to be any surprise for September either.
No. I mean, dude, I ain't gonna lie. That Taken King console, like, I'm not gonna buy it, but it looks sick.
Oh yeah, so I could see Destiny getting number 2 then, huh?
I guess so. Well, you know, honestly, I mean, and here's the John prediction right here. Metal Gear Solid 5 is gonna take the month.
Absolutely, yeah. What did Destiny chart last month?
I don't know.
Probably in the low part of the top 10, I would assume. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah, look it up. Next month, I think you're looking at Metal Gear Solid 5 on the PS4, followed by Destiny. But here's the thing. I think Metal Gear Solid 5 on the Xbox One is going to chart 4th. I think Destiny on the PS4 and the Xbox One will probably top it. And I'm basing this looking off of the UK sales for Metal Gear Solid 5. I think it was like skewed 70% towards PS4, which isn't really surprising to me because that brand has always kind of been associated with Sony anyway. But I'm willing to bet that, I mean, you know, regardless of how it pans out, it's going to be Metal Gear Solid 5 and Destiny, you know, racking up all the sales numbers next month. And I fully expect that PS4 will win the month. Period.
I figure Minecraft will probably be number 2 or something like that. It'll probably go something like Metal Gear, then Madden again, and then Minecraft again, and then maybe
that game's got Minecraft continues to blow my mind. That game's got some fucking legs.
That's making all its sales on the Xbox 360.
Well, no, I'll tell you what, dude. Microsoft, I mean, buying Mojang was a fucking coup for them. That was genius. Awesome. Because I think now that they bought them, I think even when Minecraft sells on Sony systems, I think Microsoft is pulling in money on that. And I guarantee you, if there's a Minecraft 2, it'll be Xbox One exclusive. It'll be exclusive to Microsoft systems, and that's genius. That was a really good move.
Does Tomb Raider come out? When's Tomb Raider coming out?
Tomb Raider comes out in...
Is that next month?
No. Tomb Raider actually comes out the same day as either Battlefront or Fallout, which I just don't understand.
Huh.
That one I just don't understand.
Yeah, that's brutal.
You know, you could or couldn't make the argument that Mad Max was sent to die. I personally think it was. I know you disagree with me, but for Rise of the Tomb Raider, and let's just say it releases in between Battleborn and Fallout, even though I know it's one of the two, because it's one of the two because those games come out within a week of each other. Laura's gonna get screwed. I mean, I don't see that. I mean, you know,
they're lucky it's coming out on 360 as well. If that was just like an Xbox One exclusive,
God, yeah,
it would bomb hard.
It would. It absolutely would. As it stands, I don't think it's going to sell. I think it'll sell decently, but it's not going to sell a tenth of what it would had they released it, you know, in September, for example. Or but then you still got Metal Gear. This is an awkward release window for something like Tomb Raider, especially sandwiched in between Battlefront and Fallout 4. I can't imagine. I mean, money doesn't grow on trees for people, especially in the holiday season. People aren't just buying games; they're buying shit for their families. They're buying Christmas presents. I mean, I know that I've limited myself to 2 games this winter, November, December, and that's Fallout and Battlefront. Even if I had an Xbox One, which I would love to have one, I wouldn't have the money or the time for Tomb Raider. I mean,
yeah, neither do I. Like Halo is coming out too. I mean, there's just so many games.
I can't. You know, I struggle to understand Microsoft's reasoning. I mean, they must have paid top dollar to get exclusivity for a year on Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
You know that cost money, and to release it right right on top of Fallout 4 and Battlefront. I just don't understand.
Yeah, they fucked up bad. They know they fucked up, so it's whatever. I mean, Phil Spencer even said that they're not going to pursue that direction of acquiring exclusivity anymore. So I see it as a mistake as it was.
Yeah, and like you've got to wonder what the people at Square Enix are thinking right now. Like,
oops.
Like, dude, are you serious? Like, you've got to be fucking kidding me, right?
I mean, it's a huge franchise. Like, just to split it up like that is just weird.
Sure.
It's a sequel to a multiplayer game. Just nothing about it makes any sense.
Absolutely. I think the smart move would have been, you know what? It sucks, but push it to Uncharted 4's window. Nobody on PS4 is buying Tomb Raider because it's a timed exclusive. So
next year is so stacked. Early next year is so stacked.
What do we have early next year? What, you got Deus Ex in February.
Uncharted 4 is around there.
Uncharted 4, Quantum Break for the Xbox One, which looks really good. I don't know when Scalebound comes out. You've got Final Fantasy 15 at some point next year.
Yeah, the end of next year at the best.
We know that now. I don't know what time it's actually. I don't know.
December 20th, 2016.
December 31st, 2016. You heard it here first. No, but I don't know.
Oh, Dragon's Dogma PC port. Here we go. January. Clear out the schedule. We got Dragon's Dogma PC.
Is that the original or the MMO version?
The Dark Arisen. No, Dark Arisen. Yeah, the console version from a couple of years ago.
I actually played that and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Did you guys ever play Dragon's Dogma?
Nope.
No.
I had already retired my console by the time it came out. I was like a PC guy until the next-gen systems came out. So yeah, Dragon's Dogma came at a time where I just wasn't wanting to deal with 20 frames a second.
Yeah, I can't say. Oh shit! Look at this. So I just saw this. So we've got a release date for Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, March. Right?
I didn't see it. Yeah, March 24th, which doesn't surprise me. That's right around the time Bloodborne and Dark Souls 2 came out originally. So
that's the Japanese release date. What?
Yeah, it says here so that's the Japanese release date. I will be shocked if that doesn't mean there's a. I'll be stunned if there's not a worldwide or like a worldwide simultaneous release for that one. I'll be stunned.
Dark Souls 2 have one?
No, I think it did. I want to say it did.
Yeah, it was worldwide March 11th.
Yeah, so I would be very, very surprised if that's not actually a worldwide release date, which is
Let me look up Bloodborne too, because
Bloodborne was. I want to say that was.
Yeah, Bloodborne was staggered, but just by a couple days. It was the 24th to the 27th of March. So yeah, it's likely we'll get a worldwide release for Dark Souls 3.
And if not, like you said, man, they'll just stagger it a few days. That's all.
Yeah, it'll be within a couple of days. So it might be end of March, first week of April.
Brian, what's been going on with you this week, man? I know you're talking about doing some League of Legends Let's Plays this weekend. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I've been doing a couple. Right now, just kind of testing out the software to make sure it works right. But right now, at the moment, unfortunately, like I had recorded like 3 games, and apparently the file got corrupted, so I'm gonna have to be redoing those. But yeah, I am gonna be doing just, if not necessarily maybe a series, but definitely something that'll be kind of fun. But so far, it's going good. Definitely got some things I want to talk about in the community. But kind of getting back to what you were talking about in terms of like console exclusives or company exclusives, I think the industry is kind of going away from that, and it's mainly because the player bases are too well split. At least in the console world, it seems like they're split well enough between Microsoft and Sony that by doing exclusively, you're not necessarily gaining anything. If anything, you're really losing half the player base. So I just don't see a lot more companies kind of going to that unless there's a really big financial incentive.
I would argue. I mean, let's look at sales of the PS4 as opposed to the Xbox One. I don't think any of us will argue or can argue that the PS4 has, as far as first-party titles go, they've got a weak lineup going into next spring. I mean, there's almost nothing.
They've had a weak lineup since the PS4 launch.
They have, no bullshit. They really, really have. And that's going to change next year. But so far, their first-party offerings have been inadequate. With the exception of
Uncharted 4 is going to be their first big mega hit. Yeah.
But look at sales of the PS4 and the Xbox One. I mean, worldwide, the PS4 is just knocking it out of the park, and the Xbox One is selling great. It's outpacing the 360, no problem. But the PS4 is the more successful console, but it has far, far fewer must-have exclusives. I would argue that first-party exclusives are no longer the pushers of consoles they used to be.
No.
Far none. I think what's pushing consoles these days are bundles, bundled software. That's the future.
I don't know. I looked at picking up an Xbox One when Titanfall came out, and I just thought twice about it, often enough that I delayed myself out of a decision. But I mean, I kind of regretted not picking it up because I missed the fun. Everybody was having a blast on that game.
I never got to play Titanfall.
Oh, I played it on PC and it was amazing.
Yeah, I heard it was great.
I thought about picking it up
for like the 2 weeks that there was a community. But I mean, it was good. It was good for that 2 weeks. It was really.
Did hear it was kind of. I did hear it was similar to Evolve in the sense that the online community kind of died quickly.
On PC definitely. Like within a month, it was a ghost town.
Yeah, you know.
I'd say they probably when you
on
look
Xbox One, you could find games.
Yeah, I would have picked it up. But when you look at the numbers, I guess it speaks to what you're saying because I don't think anybody was picking up a PS4 for say Thief.
No.
Oh God.
No, no. If you picked up a PS4 for Thief, you fucking checked into a mental institution.
So it certainly wasn't driving the sales, but in a way, it makes me think about picking up an Xbox One. And now that Titanfall is coming over to PS4 anyway, I don't have to.
But you know, like I would love to own an Xbox One, but there are not any real exclusives. I mean, like Halo, obviously, but I mean,
it depends how much you care about Halo and Gears. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't give two shits about Gears. Halo, I do enjoy the Halo series, and I would absolutely and do plan on picking up an Xbox One, so I can play Halo. So in a sense, yeah, I'm picking it up for an exclusive. But if you look at the sales numbers, I mean, technically, dude, Xbox One should be fucking crushing it. They should be crushing it. I mean, they've got a very strong stable of exclusives. It was the same thing last year. Look at Forza.
That Gears remaster sold well.
It did. I think it charted like number 2 or number 3. Rare Replay.
Yeah. Rare Replay too, definitely.
I would love to have Rare Replay.
That is a hell of a value.
And dude, 30 games for $30. That's fucking incredible. I just wanted Battletoads. I would have paid $10 for Battletoads.
Mm-hmm. Played for 5 minutes.
I do. I used to love Battletoads.
Really?
Yep.
You really loved it? You really loved it? Because
I really did.
I played it. I played it with my brother in co-op, like on the NES. It was okay.
Oh, Battletoads is great, man.
It's not great.
You get that bullshit out of here, dude.
What's great about it? The first level is good, like where it's a beat 'em up, and then it just keeps getting worse. The game keeps getting worse as it goes on. Every level is worse than the last one. The second level is that bullshit where you drop down the cave, and you're like rappelling down the cave, and you can knock into each other.
You're pissed off because you couldn't beat that speederbike level.
Not without a game genie.
No, I ain't gonna lie, dude. I had my game genie.
It's not that. The worst level is the snakes. There's like a level pretty far in the game where you have to like jump on snakes as they're riding through.
Yeah. Snakes are bad. I've gotten through the speeder bike level legitimately, and I don't say that to brag. I just say that because I had the game so damn long that I finally was like, well, I might as well do well at this.
Honestly, you should be bragging about it. I will admit that was fucking awful.
What a douche.
I mean, I wish Battletoads was just the entire game. The entire game was just the first level. Like it was just a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
That's a hard game.
Is Microsoft coming out with a new Battletoads game? I mean,
it's gonna happen.
You know, one of them is a character in Killer Instinct. I mean, Phil Spencer.
How do you reboot that series?
I don't know. Like, I mean, what do you do? What do you make it like a third person? I mean,
it doesn't have an identity. Yeah, like you could do anything with it, really. I guess.
Well, you know, the thing is that somebody I can't remember who it was, but I was listening to some podcast and they said Battletoads is one of those timeless games, and I was like, really?
Timeless?
Yeah, I had fun with it, but
Super Mario Brothers 3 is timeless. Okay,
yeah.
Final Fantasy 6 is timeless. Battletoads is that
pinnacle of Nintendo games.
Yeah, Battletoads is that game you mentioned. You're like, oh yeah, that was fun, but nobody's going, oh my god, greatest game of all time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It would struggle to make a top 20 NES list.
Yes, Like Ninja Gaiden is a timeless game. Like I lost countless hours of my life to Ninja Gaiden, but in Battletoads, while it was great, I wouldn't call it fun. So I've been wondering that. I mean, we've seen the Battletoads have been popping up everywhere. They were in the Xbox version of Shovel Knight. They popped up in Killer Instinct as a playable character. Phil Spencer has been wearing Battletoad shirts around. You know something's coming.
Yeah, it will. Maybe it won't be like a full $60 AAA game with a huge budget, but like there's going to be a Battletoads game.
You think it might be like a I don't know, like a big indie? Yeah. Well, actually,
I don't even want to speculate. It could be anything, but I feel like there's going to be something.
I think Microsoft did. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember reading this week that Microsoft closed their indie development studio.
Wow.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, that one took me as odd. But speaking of indies, I don't know if you guys have ever played Shovel Knight, which I mentioned briefly.
Oh yeah,
it's very good.
It's fucking awesome. The DLC comes out next week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Plague of Shadows. You get to play as Plague Knight. There's going to be new bosses. I think there's going to be new levels. I'm picking up the fuck out of that. I love me some Shovel Knight. That game is the shit.
It's a great game. I like Rogue Legacy more, but it was.
Dude, Rogue Legacy. I've put my Vita almost through the wall because of Rogue Legacy. It's a great fucking game, but holy shit, that fucking game.
It's not the most difficult roguelike I've played in a long time.
I have a harder time.
Darkest Dungeon on Steam.
Dude, that's coming to PS4. I can't fucking wait. Yeah.
Yeah, I got that in early access. That game will frustrate you.
I really can't wait, dude. Darkest. There's a bunch of indies coming out that I want. I want Broforce, which looks fucking awesome. Darkest Dungeon, I really want. I don't know if it was classified as
the Necrodancer.
What's that?
Crypt of the Necrodancer.
I've heard of that. I've actually heard of that.
It is so good. One of the best games I've played this year, for sure.
Oh. There's another one coming out called Divinity: Original Sin, and I know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's a Kickstarter game, and it's coming out for consoles this year, and I have heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, the Kickstarter for Divinity 2 just launched. Well,
yeah, I was actually thinking about contributing to that actually. My first Kickstarter effort or contribution anyway.
Yeah, that's a long-running series. That goes back like over a decade. That series.
Divinity?
Most people never even heard of it until this new one. And even then, not a lot of people heard about this new one. So.
I'm one of them, dude. I had never heard of that shit at all.
Oh yeah, there's one that looks like Diablo 2. I think
that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, that's
Divinity. Right? Divine Divinity 2, something like that. Yeah, it's a long-running series.
You know what?
This one's the most different. Original Sin was pretty different.
Yeah, I've continuously passed on that game.
Torchlight.
Yeah. I played Torchlight.
Which one? Or I'm sorry, not just Torchlight, but Torchlight 2. That's the one I was really interested in.
That was a good game.
I never got the.
It was okay.
Diablo.
I don't know, man. Like people play Torchlight and they're like, "Oh, it's a fucking Diablo killer."
Yeah, that's because they came out like 2 months after Diablo before they patched it and removed the auction house and released Reaper of Souls and fixed it.
You know, speaking of Diablo, apparently we're getting another expansion.
Are we? That's cool.
Yep.
Moving on. I haven't played Diablo in a few years, but
if they gave me another expansion, I would absolutely pick Diablo back up. I had a ton of. As long as you can avoid the fucking modders, you can have. I love Diablo.
I do too. I played it on PC when it came out, and then I bought the PS4 version as well. I liked the PS4 version better, just because of the way it played with the controller. It felt like Gauntlet in a way the PC version didn't.
It feels a lot more intuitive with the controller. The problem with the PS4 version, and I would assume the Xbox version as well, is the fact that these days it is not impossible, but goddamn difficult to find a game without somebody using a modded weapon. And it was the same problem that fucking Borderlands had, and I don't know why studios can't fix this. In Borderlands, people would jump in with these modded guns, and they would drop them into leave, or they would dupe shit. I personally can't fucking stand duping.
You're giving me Phantasy Star Online flashbacks now.
Yeah,
Heaven's Punisher plus 99, Spread Needle plus 99. That was it, baby.
Yeah, why can't developers do anything about this? It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
I mean, when you have a game that you're allowing for modded software and add-ons and things like that, you tend to have that Pandora's box kind of open up because it's very hard to, make it so the coding accepts most mods but doesn't, allow you to do certain mods that are out of sync or whatever. Now you can do it eventually, but it takes a long time. Just to give you an example, in World of Warcraft, we used to use a mod called AVR a lot. AVR was basically a way that you could draw like shaded diagrams of like shaded diagrams on the floor of a boss fight or what have you, and it literally would say, everybody go to green, and there'd be a green square on the ground. They finally were able to disable it because they built that into the regular interface, where you could do like your own markers and things like that. So, and that was a relatively simple add-on, and it took years for them to get rid of it because they claimed that it like made the game too easy or whatever nonsense they want to come up with. But yeah, it's a tough thing because programming is not an exact language, and I mean there's so many documented cases of, we changed this one weapon to do something, and now all of a sudden our entire game doesn't work. It's just very interconnected.
It kind of makes me worry about what's going to happen when Fallout 4 and other games inevitably after that start allowing modded programs or player mods. I really like the idea, as I mentioned before, but I still wonder if it's kind of a slippery slope. And Brian, you know far more about that than I do.
Well, I mean, when you're thinking about Fallout 4 being purely single player, mods aren't going to be your concern. But yeah, in games that have a multiplayer aspect, like MMORPGs are probably the most common in the PC world, but shooters do it as well. Usually, game developers have to be really Johnny on the spot about that kind of stuff. But I would say is, at least for AAA titles, nowadays it's gotten better, so I wouldn't necessarily say it's going to be that bad, but I would say give it a chance before you see it. I mean, yeah, the Borderlands, Phantasy Star, those, keep in mind that some of that stuff, I mean, even that was a few years ago now. The security on that kind of stuff has gotten better, and these companies that are AAA, they're not going to risk, people quitting in their games because somebody's basically in there with a weapon they shouldn't have.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, based on what you just told me, I can completely see developers locking modded anything out of any multiplayer aspect of a game. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely do that as well. It really just depends on what the developer wants to do. If they want to lock it out, they're obviously more than welcome to, and they will. But I would say it's a situation where, I mean, if you lock things out of multiplayer, then you're also basically telling people that you can only create a single-player mod, and sometimes that can have an effect in and of itself. And even then, you might have a single-player mod that affects multiplayer inadvertently or in an indirect fashion. So it's just all going to be on those companies to actually monitor their own games. I mean, if you police it, it's easy, but it really just depends on the level of care that you put into it.
So the best mod that's been released this year so far has got to be the mod that lets you put Revolver Ocelot in a PC version of MGS5 in place of any of your buddies. So there's YouTube videos of where Revolver Ocelot takes the model of like Quiet, the sniper chick, and she's like doing its dance in the rain, like all evocative like, and it's Revolver Ocelot instead. There's another scene where you get your little puppy guy, D-Dog, and like Big Boss like raises him up into the air, kind of like a Simba and Lion King thing. And instead of the little dog, it's Revolver Ocelot, and he's like, the animations are all the same. Like there's a part where if you raise up your bond level with Quiet, and then you sit in the helicopter, she does like all these like poses and stretches for you, and it'll be Ocelot doing it instead. He's like shoving his ass in your face and stuff. It's the best.
I don't have a lot of experience with modded games because I've never really been a big PC gamer. But the one I do remember was the one in Skyrim where hold on, let me shut my phone up.
What was that?
It was my phone.
Holy shit, we've been spotted.
99 seconds.
Yeah, we have one viewer.
No, my phone. That was great. My phone actually makes the Metal Gear alert noise whenever I get a text message. That timing is fucking out of bounds. That's awesome.
That was something.
But no, the all right. So I go over there, and he has got this mod where it replaced all the dragons' heads with Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yes, that's the best one.
And every time it breathed fire, it went, ooh, yeah. I looked at him and I was like, this is the only way I ever want to play Skyrim from here on out.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, if I don't, I need Macho Man Randy Savage flying around in Skyrim in my life. I need it. That's when that's really the first time I realized, like, holy shit, like,
Rest in peace, Macho Man, by the way.
What's that?
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Macho Man.
I know, dude. Oh, the Macho Man. Did you guys ever hear his rap album?
I have not.
You had a rap album?
You got a
I don't think I want to.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a second. While you guys are talking, I'm gonna bring up the Macho.
So Brian, what do you want to talk about with the business thing?
This thing up on $7.
While he's doing that.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You said you wanted to talk about the business aspect of it? I wasn't sure what you were mentioning.
Oh, you mean in terms of, well, with the modding community, like they tried like a short-lived version of like a pay-for-mod kind of scenario with, I think it was with Skyrim.
Yeah.
And the problem is, like I said, first off, they did it on a game that was 5 years old. Terrible idea, because at that point, everybody had already been, used to having mods for the game for years. It's kind of like, what do you mean you're changing it now? But the second thing is, the problem is they weren't allowing really the modders to set the prices. The prices were kind of being set by Steam, and that's probably not going to work because people are willing to pay, something like the Macho Man Randy Savage one's a good example. Like, I would pay $2, $3 for that. I might even pay $5, but I'm not paying anything more than that. But I'm not paying. They were charging mods like that into like the $15 range, and that's just not really going to work. But I think that's where the paid modding community can certainly work, and there's definitely people out there who do. I mean, we joke about the Macho Man Randy Savage one being the greatest one, but truly there is mods for Skyrim that are full-on quest chains, full-on additional towns with NPCs and everything. But if you in like a blatant cash grab, if Steam desperately wants to like up the profit margin on these things and overcharge for them, then it's really not going to work. And even the modding community at that point is going to say, that's not why we do this. We do this because we love the games. We don't do this just because, we want to make a buck. I mean, if we want to make a buck, we would just develop games ourselves.
I never really saw Steam as a money grab. I mean, they've been pretty liberal with the sales and the price hacks they put out.
No. I mean, in terms of like this, they're great with the sales. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying is if they don't allow the modders to set their own prices, it kind of gets a little. It kind of.
It adds another variable to it, Steam.
Yeah, exactly.
Going off the rails. Yeah, I could see that.
All right, this stupid fucking video, it's not going to work. But I want to take 10 seconds, and I want you guys to listen to this right here because it is like pouring liquid gold into your ear holes.
Turn it down.
I'm the wrestling king. I'm now expecting Larry. Took a break from the ring because I want you all to hear this.
All right.
What year did that come out?
Jeez. Tell me, I had, you know what? I have no idea, but tell me that's not the most glorious fucking shit you've ever heard in your life.
That's hilarious on an ironic level, for sure.
I actually enjoy rolling through the hood with my windows rolled down, blasting that shit as loud.
He put that out in 2003.
Did he really?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh man, dude, that's how I remember him. That's my tribute to Macho Man Randy Savage. I love it. Anyway, I was away for a minute. What are we talking about?
I was snapping into a Slim Jim.
Hold on, I gotta go upstairs and give my wife an elbow off the couch. I'll be right back. Okay, what's going on? What are we talking about? What's the topic? I missed it.
Didn't Macho Man actually? Didn't he actually marry like his?
He married his valet.
Manager or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like what was her name? Sherry.
I thought it was Elizabeth.
Miss Elizabeth. And
I remember her. Yeah, I think didn't she die of a drug overdose?
In 2003.
Yeah.
That's what caused them to go crazy and release the rap album. It all makes sense. We put it all together right there.
Right here on the Super Deformed Gamescast, dude. We fucking solved it. Dude, he went out. Man, he went out so sad. Dude, he had a heart attack while he was driving it. Like drove off a bridge or something.
Yeah. That's a shame.
That's a shitty way.
Let's talk about video games.
Yeah. This is all this video game talk, man, about Macho Man. What I missed.
Metal Gear. How far did you get in Metal Gear then? Which mission are you on?
All right, so I'm at mission 30. I know the last one 31. I'll tell you this. I've got some mixed feelings on Metal Gear. It looks like Steve has his mic muted. Steve, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, there you go.
Coughed real quick.
He's getting yelled at by his wife. So Metal Gear from a gameplay perspective, and now that I'm near the end, I feel qualified to say this.
But you're not near the end.
Oh, okay, well I'm near the end of the last mission, and after that I'm going to go for the true ending. But
a long way to go.
Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, or I'm sorry, Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong. But the gameplay is fucking. This is I mean, as far as a gameplay perspective, it's the best Metal Gear ever. Period. I mean, there's
unquestionably. Yeah, I saw somebody try to say that MGS4 was the best playing game in the series. But
no, as far as gameplay goes, absolutely no.
Like the first, I mean, people always just say like just the first 2 acts of MGS4.
But from a story perspective, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little underwhelmed.
It's easy to be. It's easy to be underwhelmed.
Snake, and I don't know if this changes, but I mean, outside of those tapes that you have to listen to pick up the story, I mean, he's basically a fucking silent protagonist, and there's no other way around it. I guess Kiefer Sutherland just cost too much, but you know, it's not what I expected from a Metal Gear story.
Nothing happens. Not a lot happens. Like even the cutscenes, like when the cutscenes are rare, and when they do happen, they aren't utilized very well. Like, but they don't feel eventful or impactful. They just kind of feel like they're wasting your time and filling up space. There's one cutscene where it just focuses on a coffee mug.
Yeah.
So, like pretty much the entire cutscene, and that's it. And there's no dialogue. There's no dialogue. Nothing happens.
Well, Huey, right? Huey Emmerich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too far into it, but it's just the whole cutscene focuses on a coffee mug, and it pans around the coffee mug, and that's it.
Well, you know, you had a conversation on Twitter. You were having a conversation with Shinobi602, who I follow, is a really, really cool guy. I can't remember if it was you or him that said, you know, I can't believe this is the game that Kojima said he wanted to make. You know, this is the Metal Gear he always wanted to make. And
from a gameplay perspective, it is.
From a gameplay perspective, sure, but it just feels like something. And you know, I said on Twitter, I said it's not that it feels unfinished. It feels unrealized. And there's a difference there. You know, I mean, it seems like Kojima. He had no real idea. It reminds me of Lost a little bit. It seems like he had no real idea on how to end the series.
Well, absolutely.
So he was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw shit at a wall.
You already ended the series. You end the series by fighting Ocelot in MGS4. That's the end of the series.
That is technically the end of the series. Yeah, technically, yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like Metal Gear Solid 4 should have been the last one. Like, I enjoy playing as Big Boss, but there's no replacing Solid Snake. And you know, at least for me. And I would have liked to have gone out on top, beaten the shit out of Ocelot on top of, you know, the Outer Heaven sub, and that's it. That's it. There's no more Metal Gear. Snake goes and retires in peace, and he dies an old man, and that's great. That would have been a picture-perfect ending for that series. But so, in a sense, I mean, I'm glad that Metal Gear Solid 5 is here. I'm having a lot of fun playing it, but at the end of the day, it still seems unnecessary to me. And a lot of people, I'll probably catch flame for that, but it's true.
No, it's not. It's not an unrealistic thing, and also, but I will say those caution, you know, unrealized. Keep in mind, I mean, we live in an age of DLC. We live in an age of expansions. So I'm always very cautious to call a game unrealized, because, you know, I look at like Skyrim's a good example. Skyrim without Dragonborn and Dawnguard would be great, but not amazing. I think those expansions really do make it, you know, kind of amazing. But yeah, I mean, I would say wait till the DLC comes out. Wait to see what the expansions are. I'm not saying that you might end up being right in the long run, and that it's just not as good as you would want it to be in terms of, you know, storyline, but it could get better.
It's unlikely. I mean, because of the whole relationship between Kojima and Konami.
Yeah, and that's that. But here's the thing, though. I think Konami's already said that they're going to make more Metal Gear games without Kojima, and that's a recipe for disaster.
They're going to be development hell, and they'll never come out. Like Metal Gear Rising.
You know, I actually like Metal Gear Rising. I never.
Sure, no. I mean, like the one that wasn't made by Platinum, the one that never.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right.
That's what happens when they tried to make Metal Gear without Kojima.
I got you.
It lavishes in hell until another developer more competent can pick it up.
You know, my big takeaway from Metal Gear Solid 5, and I'm gonna get the true ending. But so far my big takeaway from Metal Gear Solid 5 is that it's a great game, and you know, Brandon, you mentioned to me that, you know, you have all these same issues that I do, but it's still front runner for Game of the Year for you, which is a testament to how good the core game.
Yeah, by quite a margin still over Bloodborne. Like I like it that much.
That's a testament to the core gameplay. I mean, it's fascinating. It's addictive. At the same time, I can't help but be underwhelmed. And
there is like almost nothing in video games you can do this year that's as much fun as just running into an outpost and just tranquilizing everybody and then Fultoning their asses back to your base. It's super satisfying. The mechanics are slick and polished. And it flows perfectly.
You would think that just Fultoning motherfuckers one after the other would get old, but it does not.
No, 50 hours Fultoning guys is still cool.
I don't even care, dude. I do, but not just guys. Like I Fulton animals,
trucks, machine guns, mortars, tanks.
Hell, dude. Like I Fulton my own guys. I just love it, dude. Like that is one of the most.
If you stand on top of a cargo crate and Fulton it, and like stand just so that it doesn't let you fall off, it'll actually get you back to your mother base that way.
Are you serious?
Yeah, just stand on top of the crate and then hold it.
I'm trying that shit tonight, dude. As soon as this podcast is done.
Like you have to stabilize yourself, otherwise you'll just fall off.
That's outstanding. The other big, the other game I kind of wanted to mention, kind of pinging off Metal Gear Solid 5, is Mad Max. I'm about maybe 5 or 6 hours into Mad Max. I had to take a break from Metal Gear Solid 5 for a minute. There was one mission that was particularly frustrating me.
I just picked up Mad Max yesterday. I'd say I put about 3 hours into it. So
I was like, fuck it, I'm going to try Mad Max. I'll say this much, and I was telling Steve. Actually, Steve was share playing with me. Dude, the game is fucking gorgeous.
It is, yes. The fire effects.
Oh my god, the explosions, the smoke.
The wreckage. Yeah, the wreckage of the vehicles when you blow them up. It's one of the best things I've seen.
It's just a cool game. And it's cool you get that little mutant R2-D2 equivalent.
Yeah, that guy's cool.
Runs around with you.
No, dude, that's the thing. He is not half as annoying as you might think he would be.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's alright.
The controls are all there. It controls well. And like I said, dude, I'll say it again. It is one of the most beautiful games I've seen on the PS4, especially when a storm hits.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, it's incredible, man. It's a rush.
The melee combat is great.
The melee combat is very.
It's just Arkham Mordor combat, but it's very, it animates well, and the hits are very impactful.
I am surprised that reviewers didn't love it as much as Shadow of Mordor. It's surprising to me because it plays like a Mad Max version of Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, it is.
That's what it is, and the map is huge, dude. The map is huge.
It's stupid huge. Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I mean, people were hating on it, and I know, like guys like
critics were hating on it.
Well, okay, so like a good example is Jim Sterling. He gave it a 4 out of 10, and I respect Jim Sterling. I think he's a good writer. I don't quite agree with him.
You would have to really hate Ubisoft games to give it that.
Yeah.
I really hate Ubisoft games, but it's not that bad.
Well, I think Jim Sterling also gave Assassin's Creed 2 a 4, which I don't understand that one, but
I hate Assassin's Creed. I always hate Assassin's Creed.
I have a lot of respect for Jim Sterling. I don't agree with him on this one.
His reviews are all over the place. I've never agreed with his reviews. He's the guy that gave Vanquish like a 5.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I thought Vanquish was fucking great.
It's one of the best shooters of all time.
Mm-hmm. A little short, but other than that, dude, it was.
Well, that's what the tap challenges are for, yeah.
Well, this all goes back to my absolute despising number of reviews. And I've mentioned that before, but. Getting back to what I was saying, Mad Max, I don't understand some of the hate, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's not Metal Gear Solid 5. It's not as good a game as Metal Gear Solid 5, and it doesn't even necessarily do everything great, but what it does, for what it is, it does very well.
Yeah, it's like a solid 7. It's
sure,
like a perfect 7. It might be the most average game I've played all year.
If somebody put a gun to my head and said, John, I give this motherfucker a numbered score, I would say, okay, I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8. Yeah.
I've only played 3 hours.
As much as you hate Metacritic,
I'm not reviewing it. I don't know. I'm just saying.
The Metascore is 70 and user score is 8.1.
Yeah.
And that right there, and
all right.
Well, Steve, you mentioned last week that Metacritic is a useful tool, and I will agree with you on this. It is very, very interesting to see the gulf between users and reviewers.
Total Biscuit put up like a fucking hour-long talk about that on his channel the other day.
What about the disparity?
Specifically, yeah, about the gulf between user scores and review consensus.
Yeah, I'll have to pull that up and watch it. I love Total Biscuit. But I mean, it's there. And I get it. Like, a lot of those Metacritic user scores, people put in zeros because they're like, oh, fucking this game.
Yeah, you can't pay.
That's the only way they're going to get it read.
Impossible to take seriously.
People aren't going to read them otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, just like you said, Steve, very often they're a useful tool. And I think it's a shame that Mad Max came out when it did, because I don't think it's going to sell very well.
No, it's not.
At all. Yeah, no, dude, I think it's going to be lost in the fucking shuffle. But, yeah, I mean, it speaks to that disparity, and I think it's great for what it is. I'm going to finish Metal Gear before I jump back into it.
I mean, it's Assassin's Creed with a car. Like I didn't even know. Like, I was calling it that derisively before it came out, and then I didn't even realize until I started playing it yesterday that it has the towers from Assassin's Creed. Where you have to get in the balloon and lift it up into the air so you can spot more icons for your man. Like, I didn't even know that was in the game.
Yeah, you literally. Neither did I. And dude, I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I am literally synchronizing.
And and somehow they found a way to make it less fun than Assassin's Creed. Because at least in Assassin's Creed, you have to figure out how to climb up to the top of the tower. This one, you just hold R2 and let your balloon climb to the top.
Speaking of Assassin's Creed, there was an IGN article earlier this week that said Assassin's Creed Syndicate brings the fun back into the series.
Yeah, this fucking PR load of bullshit here.
I would. Well, hold on a minute. I want you to tell me how you really feel about this, Brandon.
Dude was gargling Ubisoft's balls with every word. Every word.
There goes one sponsor.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie. I saw the gameplay video and I was like, okay. Like, I mean, it's Assassin's Creed. I mean, it's not doing anything that Assassin's Creed Unity or Brotherhood or 3 or 2 or 1 or Black Flag has not done. But dude, it'll probably review decently. It'll sell millions of copies, and we'll get another Assassin's Creed next year.
Let me just quote this. All right, this is the second paragraph. Everything about Assassin's Creed Syndicate feeds into that core idea of fun. Every discipline, from artists to musicians to programmers to designers, all focused on that keyword. From the ground up, the game is there to provide players with the tools, systems, and freedom to create their own fun. Was that written by like an objective person, or was that written by Ubisoft, like the developers, the programmers, the PR people?
It does sound a little. I don't know, what's the word?
It's a fucking platitude. You can do that in every game.
Nice use of the word platitude. Well done. I like that. That's a word you don't hear very often. But no, I mean, no, I think you're absolutely right. I read the article myself, and then I watched the video. I was like, I'm not.
Provide players with the tools to create their own fun? Like,
isn't that what every video game? Isn't that the point of every video game?
Yeah, but that's what makes Assassin's Creed Syndicate so good after last year.
I've never sat down in front of a video game and thought to myself, man, I sure hope this game gives me the tools to make my own fun.
So here's the thing: it's the guy who wrote this preview is the same person who reviewed Assassin's Creed Unity for IGN last year, and he even admits in this preview that he was disappointed in that game, and that this is the one that's going to be bringing it all back. This is the one that you have to care about. But he doesn't give any reasons like why you should actually care. Like all he mentions are bombs that explode into like electricity. How does that make it fun? It's still the same game.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like some of these
play as a girl now, but like that doesn't make it more fun.
Some of these phrases that are thrown around by a lot of publications these days just make me smile. Giving you the tools to make your own fun, like that. Okay, you've just described every fucking video game since the beginning of time.
And bourbon distillery.
Whoa, hold on. Wait, I just found this one. Likewise, liberating child laborers from the harsh confines of a dark, dangerous factory adds insight into real issues of the time, as well as further progress the heroism of Jacob and Evie.
Oh, God. Is Assassin's Creed going to pretend they're historically accurate?
That guy was reaching so far into his ass to pull that one out, I think he grabbed his lungs.
One thing, I know that when I play Syndicate, what I want to learn is more about child labor laws in the late 1800s.
I'm sure Assassin's Creed will have a really nuanced opinion on that.
Assassin's Creed OSHA.
OSHA.
No, because Assassin's Creed 4 did some of that shit, too. like I didn't play Assassin's Creed 4, but I know that there's some parts in that where Edward has to do some stuff about, like, he's liberating some people in his mission there.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay, dude. Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
It wasn't handled well, and I would expect this to be handled in about the same manner.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Black Flag, and I know Steve will agree with me. Black Flag was a breath of fresh air for that series.
It was awesome.
It absolutely was. It is by far my favorite Assassin's Creed game. Period. Because you know why? Because it wasn't a fucking Assassin's Creed game.
Well, because it gave me all the tools to make it sound fun.
I remember absolutely. It was a fucking pirate ship game. I remember like 3 assassinations total in that game. The rest of the time, dude, I sailed the fucking 7 seas and I looted motherfuckers, and that's all I did. Fuck the story. I don't
Sang pirate songs.
I just want to be a pirate, and if Ubisoft gave me a game just like that, without all the assassin-y bullshit, dude, I would eat that up. I just want a fucking pirate game from Ubisoft. That's all I care about now. I just want a fucking pirate game. Give me a pirate game just like that, only without the fucking Animus bullshit. Because
they know people. They have to know that like Black Flag was such a fan favorite.
It was, dude. And you know what? Dude, look, it is a far superior game to the one that came before it and the one that came after it, because it was different. Dude, Unity went right back to, okay, I'm gonna climb this building and you know, I'm gonna eavesdrop on this. Although actually, I will say that Unity kind of thankfully got away from the stupid eavesdropping shit. But you know, Unity was basically Assassin's Creed 3 and 2 and Brotherhood. But 4 was a different beast, dude. Like and you know what? The funny thing is I could not begin to tell you what the story of that game was. I didn't give a shit. It
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Dude, I just had so much fun being.
Well, you're making your own story.
Dude, even my son. My son was 5 years old at the time, and he came down. And he was like, "Daddy, I want to sail the pirate ship." And dude, he would just sit there and fucking sail the pirate ship around the map.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
awesome.
It was a great fucking game. Although I will say that my nephew had kind of an adverse reaction to that game. You know, he came down. I was playing it, and he was like, 13 years old. He came down. He saw me playing Assassin's Creed. You know, he says, "Kill them in weird ways," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "What does that even mean?" I was like, dude, I actually think it's time to go upstairs.
In 10 years, you need to give a Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, seriously, no, I do.
You can take your horse and knock a guy out, and then poop on him, strap him with C4, and then bring him back to your base.
Here you go, dude. Take this game. You can be as cruel to animals as you want. You'll love it. No, fucking.
There's some crazy shit in there.
Actually, you know what? You just and this is kind of veering off the topic a little bit, but what is the point of commanding your horse to take a shit?
You can if you place droppings on the road, trucks will swerve off of the road when they hit it.
You're fucking.
It's like a banana peel. And Mario Kart, yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yup, it's the best. It's pretty Kojima.
Can you pull like a Duke Nukem and pick it up and throw it at people?
Nope, it just sits there.
Oh, that's weak sauce, dude.
But if you know like a convoy is coming, you can have your horse poop on the road, and the lead car will veer off and then crash.
I have a direct message to Hideo Kojima. If you ever hear this, which you won't, but even so, please give me a patch that allows me to throw that D-horse's shit at patrolling sentries. You know what? Please give it to me. I want it. I'll pay you for it. Dude, I would never finish the game because I would just run around throwing turds at people. That's all I would do. That's all I need.
I can see the appeal.
What if you could Fulton it? That would be the shit right there. And then have it Fulton the turd, and then get an angry call from Miller.
From Kaz, yeah. You're gonna extract that.
You're gonna. That's coming too.
He already makes fun of you just for taking guys anywhere.
He does. I think he does that when you take guys who are terrible. Like if everybody.
Nope. It says it at random.
Really? I swear Miller has like
picking up A++ guys with like gold on their icons, and he'll still say the same lines of dialogue.
Dude, Miller has, I swear to God, like 95% of the game's dialogue.
Yeah, probably.
And is that Troy Baker who did his voice as well?
No, he's just Ocelot.
Okay.
Miller is.
Robin
Atkin Downs.
Have either of you guys gotten Hideo on your team yet?
Apparently, yeah, that's the thing. Apparently, you can actually recruit Hideo Kojima. I read that.
In Ground Zeroes. I think you can do it in MGS5.
I think you can do it, and I think you can do it in the Phantom Pain. Yeah. But no, dude, you'll have to forgive me for thinking that every voice actor is Troy Baker.
Yeah, no, Miller, over the radio, Miller and Ocelot sound pretty much the
They
same.
sound alike. I have trouble telling them apart.
You can definitely tell the difference when you're listening to the story tapes and they're talking to each other.
Oh, sure, because Ocelot sounds vaguely southern.
Yeah, but like if you're like in the middle of an assault on a base and they're talking to you over the radio, they're gonna sound the same.
Dude, if I'm in the middle of an assault on the base in that game, the last fucking thing I'm listening to is Miller bitch at me.
Listen to the final countdown.
Dude, I found Take on Me yesterday, and that's all I've been playing.
That's a good one.
I found Take on Me, and I found Maneater. And dude,
I don't have Maneater.
Dude, there is nothing like rolling into a base and just calling down an airstrike to Maneater. He's a man.
I need to get that tape.
I love it. You know, what's funny about the final countdown is I picked that tape up last night and I was playing that and the song got stuck in my head. And my wife and I went to a beer festival today and I just started singing it at random. And she got so pissed off.
Sounds like something that could be annoying.
She got so. All I did was sing the chorus over and over.
Yeah, learn how to make new friends.
Yeah, I know. So what else happened this week? We've been talking all this fucking Metal Gear Solid bullshit, and I'm afraid I've had enough to drink now to where I'm afraid I might accidentally veer into spoiler territory.
Yeah, let's not do that. It's still only a week old.
What comes out next week? The Taken King.
Yeah, there's not a lot for the rest of the month.
Yeah, it's gonna be a slow month, but dude, The Taken King is gonna sell, especially that PS4 is gonna sell fucking gangbusters.
It's all sports games this month. You got NHL, you got NBA 2K, which I think NBA 2K is going to sell a lot.
Slow roll. NHL comes out this month?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
I think it comes out next week or something.
Yeah, the 15th.
Hold on, I'm going to look that up.
Comes out in 3 days. Comes out on Tuesday.
Talk amongst yourselves. I want to confirm that.
I'm looking at Wikipedia right now.
Are you really?
Yeah, NHL 16.
Oh, shut your...
It comes out in 3 days. You didn't know that?
No,
I'm going to pick up FIFA too this month.
Yeah, that's the 22nd.
Dude, that game's always so well developed.
You know, we're going to talk about some sports games. You got your Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 dropping on the 25th.
Oh, shit, son. That Tony, those cel-shaded characters.
I need to know how good or like bad that game is. I need to know.
It's not going to be retail price, is it? It's not going to be $60.
Yeah, it's $60.
It's going to be
Activision, man. They put out Biohazard or the prototype Biohazard bundle for $50.
Hold on a second. Is it a physical release or is it just digital?
It's physical.
Steve, okay, all right, hold on. Steve and Brian, have you seen the gameplay videos for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5?
I have not.
No, I haven't.
It looks like it was made on a budget.
It literally, I'm not going to bullshit you. After we're done, go to YouTube and look up a video and tell me it's not using PlayStation 2 assets.
Is it coming out on the PS4 too?
Yeah, no. I mean, it's looking at it, I would assume it's coming out on PS3, PS4, and PS2, and possibly PS1.
it's PS3, 360, PS4, and Xbox One.
It is one of the ugliest, most poorly animated games I have ever seen. This is coming from somebody.
It's the ugliest $60 game of this generation.
No,
wait, hold on, that's not true. Because there's some PlayStation 3 remasters like Godzilla and stuff.
Godzilla's the worst.
Godzilla looks pretty bad. Oni Shanbara, whatever the hell it is, Z2 Chaos. That game, that's a PS3 game that looks pretty bad.
Sony rocking those fucking exclusives, Godzilla baby. Tony
Hawk was bad.
When is PS4 getting Shower with Your Dad Simulator?
Dude, oh my God, Shower. Dude, I saw the trailer.
Doesn't already happen?
I still feel stoned. Brandon, have you seen the trailer for this?
I have, unfortunately.
What the hell is this game?
I think it does what it says on the tin.
Is it literally a Shower with Your Dad simulator? I mean, I don't...
It's a comedy. It's a parody thing.
You know, I don't know. I don't...
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm okay. I think I'll pass.
I'm glad that the game exists. I'll have to pick it up.
Well, who knows, dude? It might prove to be very educational. I don't know. But, you know, dude, so Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, I want to talk about that for a minute. After we're done here, go up and pull up the videos and help me try to struggle to understand, one, why this game exists, and two, why it looks the way it does. Because it's going to look cel-shaded, but it wasn't always. So it has these terrible fucking character models, and people complained about it. And I guess they said, okay, you know what? Yeah, they're ugly. You're right. We'll fix it. So I don't know. A couple weeks later, Brandon, or a month later, they released new screenshots and a new video, and all they did was slap a like a cell shaded paint over it.
It's like a lazy filter.
I'm looking at it now. It is really bad.
It's bad.
It's pretty ugly for a $60 game in 2015.
Dude, I wasn't bullshitting. It's bad.
And, but the skateboard is electrified, so that's good.
Yeah, woo. But look at the level design. That's another thing. Like the levels.
Without any kind of issue, though.
The levels look super bland. They don't have any like identity. Like the thing, everyone's got their favorite like classic Tony Hawk levels because they had a really unique identity and they had a lot of memorable features. These ones are just like random, empty levels.
This could be like a Rust mod. This doesn't seem like a full game.
When does this fucking thing come out?
The 25th.
The 25th of this month?
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Do you understand how tempted I am to pick it up just to see?
The reviews will be there, man.
I just want, I want to see if it's gonna be like a Deadly Premonition kind of deal, where like it's so bad it's good. But dude, after looking at this, I mean, when it comes to skateboarding, dude, I'll stick to Ollie Ollie.
Yeah, free on PS Plus, those were.
Ollie Ollie that's how fucking skateboarding is done these days.
I downloaded both of them because they were free, but I haven't played them.
Dude, Ollie Ollie's great. It's the Dark Souls of skateboarding games. I mean,
I was just gonna say it's really hard to get into, isn't it?
They're tough, but dude, they're really fucking good. This is a fucking cash grab, and I wish, I said the other day on a NeoGAF post, I said, all these games are, we're finally starting to abandon cross-gen, but there's still big franchises like, actually, I don't know if you can call Tony Hawk a big franchise anymore, but Rise of the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider is cross-gen. There's a Transformers game coming out soon.
The Platinum one, right?
Yeah, which I'm actually really excited about. I'm not going to bullshit on that one. That Platinum game.
I'm excited about anything Platinum makes.
Yeah, dude, Platinum doing a Transformers game. Yeah, I'm all over that. But I wish it wasn't cross-gen. I personally think, dude, I think Metal Gear Solid 5 was held back by cross-gen.
Oh, absolutely it was. It has some basic ass geometry.
Yes, it does. It does. And I appreciate the character models. They look great. And it's 60 frames per second, and that's great.
The 60 frames really does look good.
It does. It really, really does.
It's super smooth, even in pretty much the most hectic situations. It still stays locked 60.
No, I haven't had that game slow down on me once, but I will say, dude, when you get in close in some of those textures, man, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so the blood texture on Snake's face, that looks like PS2 quality texture right there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, and when you're getting in close to some of those blades of grass and the rocks, you're like, okay, now I really can't see this game's PS3.
And then, it's the thing when you walk inside of the buildings, it's just like an empty room with square walls. It's just a square room with flat walls and maybe a table and a bed in it.
It's the Soviet Union.
I've got to imagine it's not 60 frames per second on last gen systems. Yeah.
No, it's like 20 to 25.
Is it really?
Yeah.
After this, I'm gonna have to pull up a comparison video because now I'm curious.
And it's sub HD as well.
I'm glad we're at a point. It makes me glad we're at a point where cross-gen is finally being abandoned. I was actually surprised that Metal Gear Solid 5 shipped as it did cross-gen, and but I'm pretty certain that was a Konami decision, not a Kojima decision. Because that's we all know what kind of company that Konami is. But Rise of the Tomb Raider
over ambition is the name of the game when it comes to Metal Gear Solid 5.
Well, of course, yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, I think they had all these grand ideas, and at the end of the day, they didn't really know how to implement them, so they just stuffed everything in. It's a lesson, I think.
The game has 2 chapters. The first chapter takes 50 hours to beat, and the second one takes like another 15. What kind of pacing is that?
And no real story.
Pretty much no story.
It has no story. I mean, there's a story there, but it's buried in cassette tapes, and you've got to dig for the story. And in a game like Dark Souls, I can appreciate that because that's the whole point. The whole point of a Dark Souls game is it's the story is very obtuse, and you learn through subtle clues in the world and talking to NPCs. I shouldn't have to dig to find the story in a Metal Gear Solid game, especially after games like Metal Gear Solid 3, which still in my opinion is the fucking pinnacle of the series. But while I do appreciate moving away from 2-hour-long cutscenes, at the same time there's also another extreme. Like you mentioned, Brandon, there's a cutscene that focuses on a mug
they just waste a lot of time. Because there are cutscenes in the game, they just don't feel like they're used to any sort of full potential.
And another thing I will saying this has nothing to do with cross-generational anything. Is it me? And again, I'm on mission 30, so without veering into spoiler territory, the Skullface for me has shown up like 3 times.
He is one of the worst villains of any like big budget narrative game.
He's terrible.
He's bad.
I still don't really understand his motivation. I'm at the end of the game, and I still don't really.
He tells you his motivation, and then
and then he dies. Yeah.
I don't want to say anything about spoilers, but like he doesn't do anything. He just tells you like what his character is useful for.
I just like for me he has shown up a total of 3 times in about maybe 45 hours, and I'm like I don't know anything about the guy. I don't care.
He has relevance to the story, but only because he tells you he does.
Yeah, and that's my problem. Like, dude, like Metal Gear is known for great boss fights, great villains. Unlike some other people, I don't really have a problem with the boss fights in Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, I know some people do. I don't. I think they're good.
There's one good one.
I do miss.
And you haven't gotten to it yet.
I do miss, individual personalities. Like, I thought the Beauty and the Beast Corps was great. Obviously, Foxhound. Foxhound is still the best.
Foxhound is by far the best.
I also really liked characters like the boss in Metal Gear Solid, who I think is the best character in the entire series, personally.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty easy opinion to have.
There's no real standout. I mean, like I said before, even Snake, he doesn't talk. So, like I said, it's good.
And when he does talk, it's just Jack Bauer.
It's just
I feel like I'm playing 24 of the game.
That. I can't get over that. I really do feel like I'm playing. Sometimes I'm playing a 24 game. He sounds just like Jack Bauer.
Yeah, he's just doing his Jack Bauer voice, and then Troy Baker is just doing like his Joel from The Last of Us voice with a little bit less gruffness. He just sounds like a Texas cowboy.
Dude, I can't.
Which is not how Ocelot has ever sounded in any of the other games.
Dinklage did the horse, I think, right?
He would have been a welcome addition to this cast.
Dude, I swear, I'm calling him Dinklehorse now. I don't even care. Dinklehorse, I love it. Dude, that kind of raises another point. I am really interested. I'm actually gonna pick up the Taken King, just because I want to hear Nolan. I want to hear what Nolan North sounds like.
Polygon put up a video.
Oh, did they?
Comparison, yeah.
I generally don't care for Polygon. I don't like to really give them clicks.
Yeah, sure, but it's a good video. They put it together well. It's edited well.
Is he better, or is it just more of the same?
It's more of the same because the script is the problem, not the voice actor.
Oh, they didn't change the script at all, huh?
No, it's exactly the same lines. He just uses a different inflection with some.
That wizard is still from the moon?
Well, that game was removed after the beta. That line was removed after the beta.
But I still love that line.
There's still some terrible lines in the core game.
I have a bad feeling about this. Man, the fuck that. I'll tell you what, though. The Taken King is bringing in some very, very welcome changes to that, to Destiny. And I was reading some earlier, and I do plan on picking it up. It probably will get me to jump back in just to see, but a lot of the issues I had with that game are actually kind of getting fixed. The quest system has been completely overhauled. There's no more that stupid light level bullshit. You just level now, and that's it, which is honestly the way it should have been. To me, and I bring it up because it's fascinating to see the way the game has evolved and the way Bungie has learned. Because they had all these grand ideas at the beginning, and ultimately Destiny, when it launched, wasn't what everybody expected. Because Bungie really, to be honest with you, I truly don't think they had any idea what they were doing.
It was another AAA title without a story.
No, dude, there's no story in Destiny. But no, actually, I take that back. There is a huge story in Destiny. You have to go to their website to actually find out what it is.
The Grimoire, or whatever it is.
You have to get those Grimoire cards, and then you go to the website, and then you find out all that shit should have been in the game, period. Even if it's just recordings that you listen to on your Ghost when you're running around doing bounties. That's what it should have been. I don't want to go to a fucking website outside of the game and have to learn the story. Sorry, I just don't want to do that. It's different. Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't want that shit fed to me through cassette tapes. But in Destiny, I'd be fine with that. It gives me something to listen to while I'm doing bounties. I'm okay with that. But a lot of shit they're doing in the Taken King really, in my opinion, I wouldn't say it's not revolutionizing everything, but Destiny is becoming the game it was supposed to be from the beginning. I think it's just a shame that it took them a fucking year to get there.
Yeah, that's hardly commendable.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. It goes back to what Brian was saying. I mean, we live in this age of DLC, and I think they're kind of trying to figure out the best formula for it. Certainly, this isn't it, but they're gonna get us on the hook for it, so we'll go check it out.
If you bought Destiny Day One and have purchased every piece of DLC, how much money have you spent in the last year?
And how many times have you beat Crota?
Countless.
No, really, how much is it?
We'll see. So I bought the last two expansions. Probably, I mean, it's north of $100.
Yeah, it's probably like $120. Something.
About that, yeah.
Taken King is 40, isn't it?
About that, and that's the reason that my little brother he flatly refuses to jump back into Destiny because he's like, dude, all this shit should have shipped with the game period. I'm not paying.
$115 for a game that took it a year to be good.
I do think they deserve to be commended because I think it's obvious that they listen to the fan base. Having said that, it's clear to me that they wanted to do a huge spacefaring MMO type game, and they really had no idea how. And now they're finding their sea legs, and now Destiny's becoming the game it's supposed to be. And I truly believe that next year, I think at this time next year, Destiny's going to be amazing. I really, really do. They just continue to revolution. If they continue to listen to fan feedback and make changes where changes are needed. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There is the skeleton of a fantastic game there. You just got to put meat on the bones, and I think that's what they're doing. I think it might be time for me to jump back in. I'm gonna try. And I'll let you guys know what I think.
I'm sure you will.
I will. I always do. My only problem is that I'm afraid that once Uncharted Collection comes out, I'm not going to play Destiny anymore. So
that's all I'm playing in September.
There's that.
Or October, rather.
After Metal Gear, man, I need a good, focused, non-open world game.
Yeah, big time. I need something not open world.
I need something that
more than anything.
Well, play some Rocket League. Did you hear about the patch that came out?
It downloaded automatically. But
well,
no.
I had no idea what the patch actually entailed, but I'm looking at it right now. So it says Season 1 has officially begun and all leaderboards have been reset. So, and it says rank points. So season rankings are now based on rank points. Rank points are gained or lost on player skill rating, teammate skill, and the opponent's skill. Rank points consistently change throughout the season, unlike the preseason skill rating, which has changed less and less the more games were played. And now ranked divisions are separated into bronze, silver, and gold. And it says Season 1 will last for the next several months, and an end date will be announced several weeks in advance. And I guess they also made some changes to the UI. I am really, really interested to see what happens with Rocket League 2, because there's going to be a second one. This game is way too popular for there not to be.
Yeah, big time. They built a fan base with the PS Plus promotion, so now they got to capitalize on it.
Well, Steve, you remember what I told you the other day, dude? I think Rocket League 2 is going to be a big AAA title.
People are definitely going to look forward to it. I mean, this was a huge surprise. It's awesome to play. I dare you to score your first goal without smiling. It's an awesome game.
And there's a lot of people out there, who really, really hate the fact that this game is getting the coverage it does.
Well, what it does is it gives you all the tools you need to have fun.
Actually.
They're using the Ubisoft model, man. It gives you all the tools you need. I love it. Is Brian still with us? Brian, you there?
I'm here.
There you are, dude. Okay, you've been quiet for the past 20 minutes, man. It's not like you.
No,
You're on the console the whole time.
Yeah, well, no, and that's fine. And some days are going to be more console heavy than others. There is a lot going on in the console world right now. But yeah, I love that. I mean, I will say this regarding like Ubisoft writing what is essentially a blowjob to their own game. It's nothing new. The problem is at least companies used to be more subtle about it, or at the very least they didn't quite use language that was so what's the word I'm looking for? Hilariously transparent. Like when you're clearly not pointing out any of the actual unique features in a game, and you're just saying it gives you the tools to have fun.
Yeah,
I mean, and I think what they don't realize is the gaming community and the gaming player base has evolved, and they don't
maybe necessarily realize that is, gamers are no longer just 10-year-old, 12-year-old kids who can't understand when they're reading a fluff piece. It's 20-year-old, 30-year-old, even 40-year-old professionals who understand how to read something and are going to have their own opinions about your games, and the game's going to have to stand on its own merits, and it can't be the same crap every single time. Like
when I read that article, the top comment on IGN was, "You say this about every game every year, and then trash it 3 months later."
Exactly, and IGN.
That's what I hate about the PS. Go on the PlayStation Store. Everything has 5 stars.
Everything has 5 stars. You got
my
it.
God, I fucking
hate
it.
It's 4.5 or 5 stars.
Or whatever, whatever it is.
And actually, bringing up IGN in particular, because I've kind of always really hated IGN, and they're a great idea in theory because they're really one of the original seminal. Hey, we're gonna review games and we're. Oh
yeah, I remember IGN 64 back in the day.
Right, they were that was a big thing, and they've just become this shell of what they were. Instead of standing out for the gamer, they're now literally corporate shills, and I can't stand that because if you're gonna, this is a player. The gaming community is very anti-corporate. We're very much we hate Activision, we hate EA, we hate these big companies that are in it just for profits because we want to see a better experience. And all IGN has done at this point is now buying into that. They're basically saying, look, pay me enough bucks and I'll suck whatever dick you want me to. And that's really, if you're doing that at that point, you've gotten too big. You're clearly not where people need to go for their gaming info anymore. And
pretty
honestly,
much.
It would be happier if you just bowed out gracefully.
That's why YouTubers are taking over.
Exactly, but that's what it is.
Well, that's why PewDiePie has 10 billion fucking views on YouTube.
Right.
Well, purely for entertainment. People watch for PewDiePie, not for the games he's playing.
Yeah, but also at the same time, I mean, PewDiePie isn't going to sit there and, basically say a game is great when clearly while he's playing it, he's obviously hating it. And that's the difference is the corporate, review like PlayStation Magazine and IGN and all of the more, I guess I'd call them the old guard of gaming review. That's why they're dying off. That's why nobody's listening to them anymore because they became too corporate. And my worry is that eventually that may happen to YouTube as well. But luckily, at least in the YouTube community, there's resistance against that.
There was just a story that came out about it was the guy was asking for $22,000 to cover games on his channel or something like that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, there was a story that came out this week about this. There was a certain YouTube gaming channel, a publisher emailed them asking hey, can you show your game on channel? I was like, yeah, for $22,000.
You know what that is? That is gaming prostitution, and that is wrong.
Yeah, it's extortion.
Yeah, Yep, that's exactly what it is. Well,
I mean, that's basically saying pay me enough money and I'll suck whatever dick you want me to, and that's really no. If that's what we're going to do, then we're basically misleading our own player base, and at that point, everybody who does that on YouTube should just stop.
Well, but I mean, what you just said kind of goes back to the point I made last week of numbered reviews are fucking. I mean, they're in my opinion they're irrelevant. I mean, Destiny's Metacritic score is 76, and not only did it sell gangbusters based on hype, but it has continued to sell consistently in the years since it's been released. Okay, and when you go to Metacritic, people say, "Oh, it's a 76," which is terrible, which it's not.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not the fucking 90 to 95 that Bungie wanted. Yet it continued to sell. So that, in my opinion, kind of validates the point that you guys are making, especially you, Brian, when you say that look, sites like IGN and GameSpot, I mean, they're great, but how relevant are they really in gaming society today? I personally, I'm on NeoGAF just like you are, Brandon. I prefer to get my game impressions from posters on NeoGAF.
I've been that way since the 90s. I was reading GameFAQs boards when I was a teenager and stuff.
I'm on GameFAQs too. And which is why I put more stock in what I mean, reviewers are gamers too, but I put more stock in what players say than, if that makes any sense, than what some reviewers.
I would actually dispute the idea that reviewers are gamers. Like you said, 10, 15 years ago, I would agree unequivocally that all reviewers are gamers, but it does seem like now there are reviewers that I go, when was the last time you actually played a game? Because it's becoming blatantly obvious that they don't.
There are a few. Yeah, there are definitely a few.
Yeah.
I said earlier that I'll use Jim Sterling as an example. I said earlier that I respect Jim Sterling as a writer. I think he's a good writer. But sometimes when I listen to him talk about video games, I think, dude, do you hate video games? Because
he hates certain trends in video games.
I'm just kind of like, okay, I mean, it seems to me like there is I don't know, I guess a cynicism on a lot of game reviewers. Like, when you look at sites like, the Jimquisition or Kotaku, I think is a big one. There's a lot of cynicism, especially if you look at these guys' Twitter feeds. They're like
the Mad Max review from Kotaku was bitter as fuck.
It was, dude. It's like the only reason I finished this game is because it's my job.
It was bitter as fuck. That dude was mad that he had to play that game.
And I was, I was like, when you exactly. And I say, if you're mad, if you're a reviewer and you're mad about the fact that you have to play a video game, you probably should find another line of work.
And then Kotaku just put up a piece like yesterday or 2 days ago about, hey, Mad Max is actually really good. Sorry about the review.
I saw that. Yeah, it's like 7 reasons I really love Mad Max, and it's like, well, hold on a minute now. Like, you either love it or you don't. Like,
Well, it's, two different people writing the articles, but I mean, that guy probably shouldn't have been reviewing the game.
That original review, when I read it, I thought to myself, it sounds like Mad Max did not give him the tools to have his own fun.
Basically.
And that's the problem is I feel like these people are so tied into this like group think of like I got to make sure that my opinion is in line with every other reviewer's opinion that they literally write it out both ways and
that's
then
true.
They put out one and then they wait to see shit everybody's against me and then they like delete it and put out the other one like
there's definitely some that just seem like they're conforming to.
Well,
it's got to be how Journey makes it to the top of the list.
Yeah. But that's the thing is like I would have way more respect for reviewers who go look everybody else seems to really love this game. I played it. I did not enjoy it. Here's why, but it's my opinion. Fine. That's great. Let's do that because we should have.
That's the Jim Sterling school right there.
And that's what, but that's the thing is like Jim's a weird case because like yes, I agree that he writes well. I just think that like again, if you're bitter about video games, you probably shouldn't be writing about them.
He's not bitter about video games because when he loves the game, he really does love it, and he loves more than he hates.
But my point is,
like, really strong.
I have no problem with reviewers going against the grain, but I also have problems with viewers. Don't go against the grain just for the sake of going against the grain. Don't be like, well, yeah, clearly all the conformists love it. Yeah, don't be that guy because you're not the guy who's fun at parties. We all just want you to leave, But I mean, honestly, like the reviewer thing, I think the problem is they lost the trust of the player base because the player base was like, look, just play the game, tell us what you think, give us an opinion to make an informed choice, and at some point that got lost in this corporate shuffle, and that's why they're turning to YouTubers instead.
Well, I'll use a really, really, in my opinion, controversial example of where game reviews have gone, and I'm talking about Polygon. Now I don't know if you guys have ever read Polygon. I don't care for them, so I don't like to give them clicks. But I read
what gets linked on NeoGAF. That's about it.
Exactly. Yeah, they've got a really weird way of doing reviews, and I don't really quite know how I feel about it. Like for example, these are the guys that gave The Last of Us a 7.5, for example, which I still trying to wrap my head around that one. So you have the guy who plays the game, right? And then he writes his review, but he doesn't assign it a score. What happens is that the review itself goes to an editorial board made up of several members, and
especially.
And they read his review and they say, okay, this is the score we're going to assign to it. Yeah. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, and it translates to some really, really odd reviews.
Yeah, Polygon has always just had a weird way of doing it.
I swear, Polygon, sites like Polygon, I'm using Polygon as an example because I see it quite often in the reviews they put out. A lot of reviewers these days, I mean, and I don't want to sound conspiratorial because there are some guys out on YouTube who are like, oh, the media's biased, and I don't see that, but it does seem like there is not a bias towards one company or the other, but a personal agenda is what I'm talking about in a lot of these reviews.
I can agree with that.
And
I would argue there's a bias for AAA titles, for sure.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I absolutely can.
Because again, those are the games that are going to have the corporate machines behind it, who do tend to be the ones who are more prone to try and influence reviewers through various methods and things like that. So they do tend to get higher scores than what they may or may not deserve.
I don't think that's fair for Polygon though. I would definitely say for IGN. Like, IGN could give a fuck less about indie games, and they just care about Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty. Polygon is the one that's going to be propping up games like Gone Home and stuff like that.
That I'll agree with you on. Yeah, I will. I will absolutely agree with that. I tell you what, losing Colin Moriarty and Greg Miller is the worst thing that could have happened to IGN, because I really like those guys. They were good guys. They were fair. and they genuinely love games. And look at that.
Oh shit, we've been spotted again.
I know. Everybody get down.
You really don't have to turn that off. Like, that's fine. Where's my kind of going on once in a while?
Where's my cardboard box?
You can do cardboard box downhill like sledding in Metal Gear Solid 5. If you find like a hill, you can like equip your cardboard box and just toboggan down it.
That's solid.
Amazing. It is solid. It's solid as fuck.
Again, I don't know. It sounds liquid to me. Oh shit,
dear brother.
Easy.
Try the veal. I'll be here till Saturday. No, but you know, you were talking about a bias towards AAA titles, and you know what? Not to harp on Metal Gear Solid 5 like we do, but I like to use that as an example. If you look at Metacritic right now, the aggregate score for Metal Gear Solid 5 is a 93, right? The vast majority of these reviews are hundreds and 9.5s. If you look at the user scores, and again, I don't like numbered scores, but we're for the sake of argument here, user scores are hovering at around 8.4. That's what I would have given it.
Yeah, this is like a 9 out of 10 kind of game.
You know,
there's
any of you guys play Journey?
Story issues.
But there are.
Yeah,
if you
I
read
played Journey twice.
Is Journey 93? Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a hard. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, and
The best game.
Journey is a hard game to criticize because it does very little, and what it does is well paced. I mean, it's a 2-hour game, and it's a perfect experience to just sit down and play for 2 hours in one sitting.
I will accept no criticism of Journey.
Nah.
Because
there's really, I mean, it's just not a game that's worth criticizing. Just
that game is absolutely fucking sublime. But I mean, you know, if you read some of these reviews, if you read some of these reviews for Metal Gear Solid 5, they literally say Metal Gear Solid 5 is the absolute, and I'm quoting here, the absolute pinnacle of the series. And I'm like, no.
The only person that could say that is somebody who does not give a shit about Metal Gear.
And I feel, Brian, and this goes to your point, I feel like Metal Gear Solid 5 is getting the perfect scores it is because it's Metal Gear.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, you would have to not be a Metal Gear fan to be that impressed with it. Because like if you're a Metal Gear fan and you're expecting Metal Gear Solid 5 to be what Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4 were,
you will be disappointed.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
If you wanted a Metal Gear story, you're not going to get it.
Nope. I will 100% back you up on that. But
got a 93 score. I can't get with a 93 for Journey too. I think you guys are on the payroll. That's it. Like,
dude, if you start criticizing Journey, I'm going to kick you out of this podcast.
I'm gonna have to pick it up because 8.3 seems to make sense to me.
There's like nothing wrong with Journey.
Dude,
I'm not gonna lie. Journey gives you the tools to have your own fun.
It does.
Okay. just like this.
Softball in there.
This bourbon gives you the tools.
Ski down the sand. It's perfect.
I will tell you right now. Bowman Brothers Bourbon, it really gives you the tools to get wasted.
I mean,
it really does.
Is it better than last year's version? Is this the one that's going to bring it all back?
It is actually, yeah. I'll tell you what. This year's bourbon is much better than last year's. It's innovative. Okay.
Is it gonna?
What the hell?
Is it gonna tackle? What the?
That is
child labor issue.
That sound right there is exactly how the podcast should end every day.
That's my ringtone, dude. Somebody called me.
That's how it should end every time.
So you got Metal Gear text and Final Fantasy phone calls.
That is no, dude. It's official. That is exactly how we're ending the podcast.
Final Fantasy 7 Battle Victory fanfare.
Dude, that's 6. That's 6.
Oh, is that 6? I didn't hear enough of it, and it was.
And now the excuses come in.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't played it in a while, so sorry. But
I haven't played Final Fantasy 6 in like 10 years.
You need to correct that.
Why? I already know what happens.
I'm finally glad. I want to work in a Final Fantasy 6 reference to every podcast, and we did it. So that's good. I appreciate that. This is the podcast where we talk about games, but mostly Final Fantasy 6, and I don't think we're living up to that.
No.
Well, we were able to now, so at least we redeemed ourselves.
We'll have a special.
I'm actually working on adding some super deformed characters to our logo, by the way.
Absolutely.
It's worth doing.
I want to get innovative with it. I want people watching this podcast to see our logo and think, these guys give me the tools to listen. Dude, that shit's not going to get old.
Mold their own super deformed Gamescast experience.
That is, dude,
They're the Ubisoft of video game podcasts.
I enjoy Super Deformed games to drink. That's my goal. That's my goal. What the hell were we talking about? We were talking about Metal Gear Solid 5, and then we were talking about bourbon, and now we're talking about our logo. What happened?
I think I would revisit Final Fantasy VI.
I would.
Now I'd want to check it out. Because, like, if I play Mario now, I get a completely different feel for Mario.
If you play Mario, are you from Boston?
I'm from New York.
Playing that Mario. Dude, speaking of Mario. Dude, yeah, Mario Maker. That's the reason to get a Wii. Or Wii U. I'm picking up a Wii U. You own it?
No, I would check it. I would pick up a Wii U for that.
Dude, I absolutely plan on picking up a Wii U for Mario Maker. Are you fucking kidding me?
Talk about having the tools to make your own fun.
That game does give you the tools to make your own fun. God damn it!
I'm reading this IGN article again because it's just so bad. Every paragraph is like a bunch of bullshit.
Hold on a minute, dude. Do me a favor. Send me the link.
Yeah. AC Syndicate is a game that sets out to give you a bevy of toys of play with. Sick. And then steps out of the way and lets you create your own stories and anecdotes. Oh, there's even grammatical errors. That's outstanding. AC Syndicate is a game that sets out to give you a bevy of toys of play with. Anyway,
nice.
Like he repeats himself. Isn't that the same thing he said in the second paragraph over again in a different way?
There's no proofreading over at IGN, dude. Come on.
Well, hold on. So what are the toys, though? Right? Okay, hold on. Let me find the toys that he's talking about. So
I want to hear more about the toys.
You get the Voltaic Bomb.
The what?
I can't wait to play as Eevee because I'm just really excited to sneak up to a bunch of guards and toss a Voltaic Bomb at them, which pretty much causes a gigantic electrical explosion, which I don't understand, but honestly don't really care because giant electrical explosions look awesome and, you guessed it, fun.
Hey, you know what, dude? Electrical explosions do give you the tools to make your own fun.
All you do is press a button and all the guards in the room are going to die. Press X to win. That's fun.
So it's easy mode then. You know what, dude? Like, I'll admit, the time period is intriguing to me, but I feel like I already played Assassin's Creed when I played The Order because it's the same time period, and only The Order didn't give me the tools to make my own fun.
No, absolutely not. Hold on. Here's another one. Like, the best open world games are ones where you never feel comfortable doing things only one way. From what we've seen of AC Syndicate so far, Ubisoft has done a great job of skillfully reminding players of the wealth of options in the world and rewarding us for experimenting. Micro-achievements and goals pepper your adventures across London. Throughout the game, you constantly have a couple dozen carrots dangling in front of your face. They say it like it's a good thing.
Was this written by a Ubisoft employee?
No, it was written by Marty Silva, who is he's the guy who's on the IGN Beyond podcast.
He is, which is weird because I like Marty Silva.
Yep, he's the guy who wrote this.
I do, really? Marty Silva wrote this?
Yep.
That's odd, dude. I legit respect him. I really like Podcast Beyond. I really do. This is not normally what I would expect of him.
This is not the review I ordered.
This is not the review you were looking for.
I'm sure he reviewed Unity last year, so I'm sure he'll be the guy reviewing Syndicate again this year. So we'll
probably.
See
and you know what the funny thing is, dude, is that they'll heap praise on it and it'll get a 7 or a 6.
He gave Unity a 7.8 last year, and then
that's high. That's a high score for Unity, in my opinion. That's being.
The first thing he does in the Syndicate review is talk about how disappointed he was with Unity, but the review does not reflect that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Syndicate, just looking at the video, it's not as pretty as Unity, and that's the one thing I will give Unity, is that is one of the most gorgeous games I've ever played.
Yeah, maybe Syndicate will actually run at its target performance.
Yeah, exactly, dude, yeah. If you're going to sacrifice graphical fidelity in order to give me a game that I can actually play out of the box, by all means, dude, fucking throw it at me. I'll take it. Hell yeah.
Speaking of scandalous reviews, I don't know if you guys played Dynasty Warriors 8 at all.
I have, yeah.
Oh my god, it is so bad, right?
It's Dynasty Warriors.
Oh my, it's really bad.
It's the same as all the other ones.
I haven't played a Dynasty Warriors game since Dynasty Warriors.
It's the same as all the other ones in the sense that it belongs on PS2.
Yeah, it does. It's a PS2 game. It's the same thing. I played Dynasty Warriors 3 when I was in high school.
How? He's been in every game.
It's got 4 stars on the PlayStation Store.
Dude, everything has 4 stars or more on the PlayStation
There
Store.
is a dedicated audience of Dynasty Warriors fans.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
dude, look
And they'll
at
play every edition too.
Yeah,
I
and
welcome
they will
their
max it.
hate.
They will play it for 100 hours and unlock all the trophies and all.
Oh,
It
one
is
thing I will say.
horrible.
One thing, I guess next month, a week after Uncharted Collection, you got Dragon Quest Heroes. And Dragon Quest Heroes, it's set in the Dragon Quest universe, but it's set up like a Dynasty Warriors game.
Oh, it's a Musou? Right.
Yeah, and dude, I gotta tell
Dragon
you,
Warrior Musou, all right.
that greatly intrigues me. Not gonna
You
bullshit.
play Hyrule Warriors?
No, because I don't have a fucking Wii U, but I really want to.
I heard it was okay.
I've heard
I
good.
heard it was actually kind of weak for a Dynasty Warriors game.
Dude, I want a Wii U for Mario Maker. I swear, I
Mario Maker looks like the best thing ever.
I have to play. I'm surprised you don't have it. At least you're not playing it.
I mean, yeah, I don't have it. I don't know. It's just not for me. Like, I respect it. I'm just not one that like is into user-created content kind
Yeah,
of
I
stuff.
can understand that.
Maybe I might pick it up in 6 months when like all the best levels have been curated, and I can just go in and download like some of the sickest Mario levels that have ever been made.
Have you been on YouTube yet? They're already like compiling lists of that stuff.
Yeah, good.
Right. That's not surprising at all.
Until Nintendo DMCA's it.
But yeah, and that's the best part is they will literally shoot themselves in their own foot for their uniform policy.
You know, literally the only thing keeping me from picking up a Wii U right now for Mario Maker is the fact that the NX may or may not be coming next year. And I don't want to buy a Wii U. I don't want to buy like a Nintendo system and then have to upgrade it less than a year later because we have no fucking idea when that thing's launching. But I guarantee you it'll probably launch next year.
It's too early to start caring about it.
Yeah, but
It's too early to even let it influence your purchasing decision.
I'd have to get it used.
You don't even know what it is.
Wii U.
You don't even know what the NX is. Is it going to be another game console that plays like AAA kind of style Mario games, or is it going to be a handheld?
I think it's a combination of the two. But if Nintendo's smart, they will put some graphical fidelity in that thing that will match the X1 and PS4 because they have not done that the past 2 iterations of the consoles. And the Wii sold like hotcakes for 2 years, and then what happened? The casual audience left. They moved on to mobile. They moved on to Candy Crush, and they were lost. They were gone.
It's true.
And they did not come back for the Wii U.
Nope.
And nobody bought them because they said, look, the Wii U has it has the power. It came out in 2012, and it has the power of a PS3 and an Xbox 360. And that's great. But guess what? Next year we're getting a PS4 and an Xbox One. Why do I want a Wii U? And I still struggle to understand the reason behind the Wii U. That to me, even the nomenclature of the system. I mean, when they first announced it, I thought it was a peripheral. I was like, oh, it's a controller. Cool, it's a controller. With this. Oh, wait, no, it's a peripheral. What?
There's been no software to justify that gamepad until Mario Maker is like the killer app. We're 2 years into the console's life cycle to like its killer app.
That game should have launched.
3. Sorry. Jeez.
Yeah.
Mario Maker should have launched. It should have been a launch game.
Basically. It should have been. Yeah, absolutely. It should have been a launch game.
There's no Metroid. We still haven't got Zelda. I guarantee you Zelda's being pushed to the NX. You're not going to see that.
Mario Maker would have been like the best launch game. I can't even imagine how good that would have been for launch. Yeah.
I would have bought a Wii U at launch had they included.
A lot of people would have.
Period.
I can't. Yeah. Man, if only they could have had the foresight.
And that's a whole other conversation we won't get into. And maybe we'll save that for next week. It's just the absolute fall of. I don't, maybe not fall, but I mean, you remember those days? I mean, back in the '80s, I used to say, "Hey, dude, come over and play Nintendo." I didn't say video games; I said Nintendo. And now I say, "Come over and play PlayStation." Or let's hop online and play PlayStation.
The Wii U is the only system that didn't launch with a Mario or a Zelda game, right?
I believe so. Don't quote me on
that. What mistake is that? Well, okay, so the N64 had Mario 64. The GameCube had nothing. You're right. Okay, that didn't. Had Luigi's Mansion.
Nintendo needs to bring back some of their. I mean, yeah, Mario's great, but where's Metroid? Where's Kid Icarus? Where's fucking where's some of those older franchises that we haven't seen in a while?
There's a new Metroid game coming.
What was that? Just that Battle Arena game, right?
Yeah, and there's a new Star Fox game coming, which looks like shit.
All right, well, you know what? I think we're at an hour 20 minutes, boys, so I think we've gone long enough. Hell, we might be in an hour now. But anybody got anything else?
No,
we're done. We've covered it.
we have covered. And you know what? So, just like Brian said, we're going to end it starting today with the fanfare. So that's what we're going to do.
I'm gonna go playing Mad Max.
Whoa, Steve, there is two of you in the chat.
Weird.
And one of you just left. What the hell was that?
Is that a doppelganger?
He's a witch.
It's like that movie Unfriended, if you haven't seen it. That dude, holy shit, your ghost just entered. Anyway, all right, we'll go and wrap it up. This has been episode 2 of the Superform Gamescast. I'm John, and as always, I was here with Brandon, Steve, and Brian. I'm fucking drunk now because I've been drinking this entire time. And as always, we don't always agree with each other, and it's not always pros, but we always keep it real. We'll be back next week at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, talking about all the nerdy bullshit that has happened the week prior. And until then, we will see you guys next week.
There we go.
See, told you.